Welcome to the Inside Out podcast. I'm your host, Jojo, and this is where we will navigate the mess together. That is mental, emotional, and spiritual. Let's get messy. Happy New Year, you guys. Welcome to 2025. This year, we're starting off with a bang with my first ever guest. I'm so excited to bring her on. She's been a really good friend of mine for the past 3 years. I've worked with her professionally in New York for about 2 years before she gallivanted around the world in Mexico, South America, and now is based in Israel. Liron is a physical therapist, postural specialist, and Pilates instructor, and founder of MUVWell, which is an online platform. So without further ado, I'm bringing on Liron from MUVWell by Liron. Liron, welcome to Inside Out.
Thank you. And thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Thank you so much for joining me. So we wanted to talk about what it means to reframe being well. Everyone in the new year is always on their A game, working out all the time, being healthy, trying to eat right. Maybe they're cutting out alcohol, they're on their grind. And I wanted to bring on Liron because she has an amazing philosophy about health and wellness and how it's not a one-size-fits-all type of solution. And that's what we're going to unpack and discover today. So I wanted you to talk about MUVWell and let us know a little bit more about your online platform.
So MUVWell started it a year and a half ago after working in person in New York with a variety of different clients from different backgrounds. I kind of wanted to take what I did in the city with me on my journeys and created MUVWell, which basically has kind of like 3 different avenues. As you said, I'm a physical therapist, a Pilates teacher, and a posture therapist. And I decided to combine those 3 things and really help people manage pain, improve their posture, and build strength. I work with people online. I do coaching and really teach people what they need to do specifically for their goals and their bodies and their needs to get rid of pain, feel better for the long run, get over injuries, and just get stronger and realize what their strengths are and where they need to make some changes in their lives. I also have a on-demand library of videos. So classes vary from Pilates, which is one of the things that I do and I love and truly believe in, to videos that will help you fix your back pain in 5 minutes, to how to change your posture, how to fix your posture at your desk. So yeah, there's a big variety of videos, and that is something I'm very excited about.
One thing I love about your approach is, as I mentioned, you're not a one size fits all. And when you do work with these people, you actually do sessions like in a telehealth kind of way where you're specific to those people's needs, which I really love. And I think there's so much out there, especially in the new year, where everyone's like, if you want to lose weight, if you want to get fit, if you want to, whatever it is, this is what you do. And it's not as simple as a cookie cutter for every single body. We are all so different. And I think that's specifically one of the main things that I love about your philosophy, your work, what you do, because you are so laser focused in on the human in front of you rather than, well, this works for some people, or, oh, your x-rays and your imaging or whatever is going on in your body, your health concerns say this, but actually what is the human in front of me? So I wanted you to talk to that because I think that's such a different approach and a way more holistic approach, which I'm all about. So yeah, I love that what you do in that space. And yeah, I just wanted to kind of hear about like the way you work with your clients and have our audience learn about you and really what makes you different.
Yeah, so I think that, as you said, there are all these like cookie cutter, one fits all, let's say trends, right? It's always going to be something else. It's, you got to like cut on all carbs. You got to do this exact exercise. You got to sleep this amount of hours, and then all your problems will disappear and you will magically feel good. And I think that at the end of the day, wellness is curating that plan specifically to you and specifically to that day, right? Because like we have days where we're feeling this way and our energy levels are this. And other days, especially women, right? We have like our cycle and we fluctuate a lot throughout the month, but also men. And I think that tuning into what your body is asking of you that specific day or at that time of the year or whatever it is, and really realizing what the mix of workouts, sleeping, eating habits, whatever you do for, your mindset, meditation, journaling, whatever it is, just finding that mix that works perfectly for you and learning how to teach your body to move better. I think that's kind of where the magic is, and that's true wellness.
And I love that you already tied in to the mess of it. You talked about the mental, emotional, spiritual. It obviously ripples out when you take care of the physical body, but you're already addressing the concepts here that people do just focus on one thing. They're like, oh, I'm going to go to the gym and then that's all I'm going to do. When it's a full on through line of health, it's not just like, I'm going to do one thing and everything's fine. And people are like, I'm going to go get a salad for lunch, so I'm healthy. Yes and no. Like there's two aspects of this, and it's not, like you said, it's not just like, oh, I'm going to do this every single day, because you fluctuate, especially the cycles, the stress levels, the situations you deal with in your life. You can't just say, oh, for every single day for this week, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. What if something happens? What if life starts to life and you, so to speak, fall off the wagon? Then what? You're going to be discouraged. You're going to beat yourself up because you think that it's all or nothing. And I think that's what, to talk about like New Year's resolutions, people kind of go in this all or nothing mentality. Health and wellness is not all or nothing. It's little micro steps that we can implement to build out a foundation for our future. Because I mean, nothing is sustainable if you're just like, I'm going to cut off this and do that. What?
That's exactly where it's at. It's just not sustainable to try to do things that are like you're going to fix it in one go, or you're going to do something that is really hard to do for a long time, right? Like you cannot just like not eat carbs for years. That's going to be really, really hard. You're going to crave them. It's not going to happen.
And then the minute you introduce a carb back into your life,
give me all the carbs in the world.
Yeah, literally. You're going to like, then your body's going to be like, what is this? And maybe your weight's going to fluctuate, or your skin's going to freak out, or your hormones are going to get out of whack. Like moderation, people.
I love the way you put it. I think it's a lot of awareness, bringing awareness into your daily things that you already do. You don't have to change everything. You want to take the things that you already do and be aware of what feels good or not so good, or maybe you have to change the way you position yourself, but just make little tweaks in your daily life to make changes that are actually sustainable, right? As opposed to the no carb, and things that will show results in the long run, right? So if you go to a chiropractor, and we love chiropractors, no offense, but if you go to lay on a table and get adjusted once a week, and that's all you do, and then you sit at your desk for 17 hours a day, and then you go do CrossFit for an hour and kind of like go all out on that. So those are three very different things.
Those are extremes.
Exactly. And you feel good. You feel like you're healthy, right? You go to the chiro and you work out, you do CrossFit, but something in that is not balanced. And then those 17 hours of sitting are still 17 hours of sitting, no matter what else you're doing, right? So It's very common. It's a huge problem. And it's about those moments. What can you do to make those hours a little better? And these are very small tweaks that go a really long way.
So, what would some of those things be? Like, if, let's say, I'm sitting at my desk all day, I'm editing the episodes, I'm doing whatever I need to do, or I'm in an office all day, what would you recommend your clients in order to kind of balance that from, oh, I go to PT, I go to the chiropractor, and then I do my workout, but I'm sitting all day. Like, what would you do in those cases?
Right. So I feel like there's this like very common misconception of what it is to like be in good posture and all the like fancy chairs and like all these like belts and whatever. And I think it really comes down to very simple things you can do. So the first thing I tell everyone is your body does not want to be in one single position for too long. And too long could be 20, 30 minutes. So just offering variety. Yeah,
Wow, that amount of time, only 20 or 30 minutes. How
right.
many of us just sit for hours, whether that's in front of the TV or at our desk? 20 or 30 minutes?
Our bodies crave variety and movement. Even if you're sitting at your desk and you make a small kind of adjustment, right? Like you bring your hips slightly to the right and your feet to the left, even that is your body signaling to you like, okay, now I need some type of change, do something. But other than that, a bigger change or a bigger kind of variety is changing between sitting on this chair, standing a little bit, sitting on a different chair, maybe putting your glass of water in a different room and just needing to go to sip your water every 20 to 30 minutes. It's really, again, that awareness, bringing your awareness to your body. Does your body feel good right now? Is there anything that is not feeling great? Can you change your position slightly to maybe feel a little better, less tight, not in pain? We're sometimes so focused on the work that we're doing and we just don't notice that we're not feeling great. And I do want to say that I think that honestly, working with you, someone like you that has a lot of that body awareness, that's a gift. And it's not something that I've seen with a lot of people. So that is something that you can really kind of take into your hands and make a real change. And again, a sustainable change.
I was going to say, a lot of people, there's such a mind body disconnect, especially if they're in the workflow. They're not thinking about their physical body. And yes, I am someone who has like a lot of body awareness. My physical life, I've talked about this in previous episodes, but this is such a big part of me and my thing that I'm dealing with in this lifetime. But a lot of people, I can just hear the excuses of, oh, well, I'm at a desk all day, or I'm in an office. I can't just like sit on a different chair. I can't just like walk around my apartment. I live in a box. I live in New York City. I already hear like the excuses that people are going to
Mm-hmm.
have in their head, which is so funny because when we have awareness brought about for the things that we need to change, we automatically try to fight everything to fight that
Right.
change.
Because changes are hard. No one wants to change. It's hard.
It's so uncomfortable. It's so uncomfortable. But that's what we're talking about here. It's changing the mindset and reframing really what it means to be healthy because it's constant. It's the through line. It's every single second the awareness of, okay, I need to hydrate. So I'm going to get up and I'm going to walk. My body needs to move. I'm not just going to have my water at my desk and everything at my desk in my immediate, like I can grab it. Just because that's convenient doesn't mean it's good for me. You should be able to get up, walk somewhere, take a phone call on a walk would be maybe another thing.
Totally. Walk up the stairs, park just a little further away from the store that you're going to enter or your workplace. It's really just how can I move my body more throughout the day and not just when I decide to work out? And that also goes kind of like opposite, right? So if I woke up this morning and I was planning this super intense workout and I woke up, I didn't really sleep well. I don't know, had a really heavy meal the night before and just like my body is not feeling it, then how effective is that workout going to be, really? That workout is not going to be effective. And maybe it would be a better choice to listen to what your body is saying and just, okay, I'm just actually gonna sip on my coffee and make me like a nice, good, healthy breakfast and start my day that way. And maybe, during the day, decide that I do want to work out or just go on a walk, or maybe I just want to like not do a workout today. That's also okay. It's allowed.
Yeah, totally. I actually wanted to ask you what your routine is and how you really stepped into this overall health and wellness space. And has this always been something that you've integrated? Like, is it challenging for you? How does that really ripple out in your life?
For me, it's been a journey as well, honestly. I've always been in tune with my body in some ways or others. I always used to do physical activity, if it was being a dancer or in the IDF, or becoming a physical therapist and teaching Pilates and teaching people how to move. But for me as well, it wasn't always clear. And I can tell you that I used to really kind of overwork my body. I mean, moving to New York City, I kind of was in the crazy city life and fell into that speed of working out super, super intensely, being on a relatively strict, not to say diet, but really kind of healthy, quote unquote, and not sleeping enough. And even not just with those things, it's the constant jumping from one thing to the next, being on the go all the time, not having a moment to let things sink in. It's so hard in New York.
It's just one thing to I mean, it's hard in like every probably like major metropolitan city, but
Cities.
New York, you're just running from subway to this to that, and you're like where can you implement these things?
In New York, it's a huge problem, and honestly, like most of my clients are those living that high intense life. But I can say it really does affect you. Like even if you think you're stronger than it, if you don't do those things, you just feel bad about yourself, like you're not doing enough. And that's a problem
The rat
because
race, the rat race
rat
of New
race,
York.
it's so real. But
Mhm.
me personally, my body just couldn't keep up. And I noticed that my hormones were kind of off and I was fatiguing like crazy. And I just didn't feel good. I used to just like push myself to like run and work out, even if I was just not there, not feeling it. And it wasn't good. And I felt like I needed a change. And then I started, just as I advise today to everyone and to myself constantly, ask your body, what are you feeling today? Like, what's up? What's your energy level feeling like? What is going on in your head? Are you stressed? Are you sleeping well? Like, what is going on? And then building your workout, food, whatever it is, plan according to that. And for me, that is being healthy, truly. It's not going crazy. It's not doing the extreme. It's finding the right balance for you.
Balance is the key here. I mean, the extremes of I'm going to party, I'm going to drink, I'm going to do this on the weekend to then I'm going to have like a healthier lifestyle during the week. It's not conducive for a long-term healthy lifestyle. And one of the things I talked about in my episode on friendship was who are the people you surround yourself with? If you're constantly around people who are doing all the things that are pulling you off your health path, maybe those aren't your people, because if your health and wellness is so important to you and you're caught up in that extreme of like going out or getting drunk or whatever it is, you can't actually implement these because again, you're still on the extremes.
Totally.
And you need to balance it out. You need to have that healthy breakfast. If you're going to the gym, work out, notice how your body's feeling, sit in that, work, stand up, take a phone call, stretch. I mean, even on your
Yeah.
platform, you have these videos and ways to even just like stretch at your desk.
Take a 5-minute break from your desk and do these super simple exercises. Like those are things that can change the way you feel, period. And I'm also going to say, kind of going back to what you said, the work hard, play hard, right? That's like so New York. And not that there are good things to that, right? But it's very like from one extreme to the next extreme. So I have so many clients that will tell me throughout the week on weekdays, I don't drink, I eat healthy, and I work out. And then on the weekends, I do all of what I wanted to do throughout the week, which is eat junk and not work out and drink like crazy and this and this and this. And I get it. And I definitely have done that in my life. But
Mm-hmm.
why can't we, like, okay, if you're feeling like a drink, glass of wine on a Tuesday, then have that glass of wine or two. And if you really have that great energy on a Saturday and you don't really want to go out, you just want to like stay in, wake up in the morning and go to the gym, then do it. It doesn't have to be that weekday, weekend, or throughout life, vacation, like those kind of like two different, so extreme parts of living.
Totally. Oh my God, that's such a good way to put it. Another thing you said about your journey with this, and it's funny because I've talked about it myself. Like, I'm not just saying this stuff because I've already done it and mastered it, so to speak. Like, this is stuff that I'm working on every day. It's not that like, okay, all done, we're good, put that away, next. It's like every single day being aware, having the mindset, breaking these cycles, the limiting beliefs, the patterns, implementing a healthier lifestyle slowly, not just
Right.
cutting out sugar, alcohol, dairy, bread. Just slow down. Because in the new year, if you want to implement these resolutions and you want to make changes in your life, it's not just going to start, as we said, by cold turkey. It just, nothing in life works that way. When you look at building a business, when you look at building muscle in your body, it's not just like, oh, I went to the gym once, boom, we're good, muscle. No, it has to be slow, steady, conscious, and lived through, not just, all right, for the month of January, I'm going to do this, and then whatever with
And
the
then
rest
what?
of the year. Yeah. And then, exactly. And then what? Because that's not how changes are made in your life. If you want to make changes, if you want to actually be able to hold on to these resolutions, start small, reframe it. Just step back and ask yourself, what is actually what I want long term? And then from there, do these little things. Guys, we're not asking you to like work out every single day and like, no, we're actually asking you to do the opposite of what everyone's telling you to do. We're asking
Right.
you to sit in it, think through it, feel it. Because when you address this in the mess, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, we've never really talked about physical health on Inside Out. And that's exactly why I wanted to have this conversation, especially the beginning of 2025, especially when people are bringing about these health changes and like, oh, I'm just going to wait to the new year to like get healthy. Okay, great. We love that you're starting your journey. We applaud you, congratulate you. It's amazing. Welcome. But now let's keep this through the rest of our life, not just the New Year's resolution. How about just the life solution?
Right. And it's, as you said, it's something that we have to keep working on, but also it's work that kind of becomes part of your life. And also we kind of learn it and become more adjusted to it, and things become more automatic, right? So at the beginning, it's going to be pretty hard to, let's say, I really like telling people to definitely not be on their phone in the first 30 minutes to an hour of their morning, right? Right after they wake up. So at the beginning, that's going to be really weird for you to do because you're used to like alarm off and scroll, email, Instagram, whatever. But then once you start doing it, and it's not a really hard thing to start doing, right? It's pretty simple. Then that becomes just the norm. And then that norm is you. And that's why it's sustainable, because it's just something you gradually implement in your life and it becomes easy to do.
The way we start our day is so important. And I have an episode on that. If you haven't heard it, go back and listen to From Calm to Chaos, Navigating Stress Effectively. I talk about how my morning routine is, and I love that you brought this up as well, because it is about the mindset and what we consume immediately off the bat in our day or even throughout our day is part of our wellness. Because if we're stressed and we see something online, it manifests in our physical body. So mentally, let's address this in the mess and tie in all these concepts for this through line.
It's setting your intention for the day or for something you're going to do. It's like that prep. So as we said, like definitely not scrolling in the morning makes a huge, huge difference, right? So if you're waking up in the morning, the first thing you see is your, ultra bright phone and automatically like go on Instagram or TikTok or whatever and just consume all of the amazing things that everyone is doing. And I'm just like waking up in the morning and not feeling great, then that's going to make you not feel so great throughout the day, right? I love to give my body and mind a moment to set the intention for the day. So I will take an hour of like sipping my coffee, reading a little bit, journaling, maybe like stepping outside, enjoying a little bit of sunshine, even walking for like literally 5-10 minutes. That will determine how my day looks. And I think that if we're kind of taking it to the mental and our mindset, that's a big thing for me. It's kind of like I want my mindset to be in a good space today. If I'm stuck in a negative loop, then nothing is going to go right. And if I'm feeling good about something and positive, I see it everywhere. I know that you do this too, but writing whatever is concerning you and just taking a negative to a positive. So if you're worried about this, how can you kind of reframe your mind and put your focus on what you can do and how you're going to overcome this?
What about emotionally? How do you see physical health and wellness play out in your everyday emotional world?
So I'm really glad you bring that up because it's really crazy, but I really do see this with so many of my clients and myself as well. I'm going to give an example of chronic pain and flare-ups, right? So a lot of people will have chronic low back pain, super common, but then it's usually kind of steady. And then one day it just kind of like, boom, goes crazy. So I've really noticed how these flare-ups are connected to our emotional state. So I'm going to give you an example of this patient of mine who has a history of trauma in his immediate family. So he's suffered a loss of someone very close, and he's been dealing with chronic neck pain for a very long time. Stiffness in his neck, referred pain patterns, like it starts at his neck, it goes to his shoulder, into his fingers, that type of thing. And I've noticed working with him closely that anytime something would trigger emotional pain related to that trauma, his neck would seize up pretty much kind of like automatically. We definitely saw kind of that connection. What can tell us more how intertwined our emotions and our body in a reaction to our emotions?
Totally. I had a really interesting and slightly crazy week myself. And I noticed that I was dealing with a lot of emotional stuff that was coming up for me. And I saw my trainer on Monday, and then I saw my trainer on a Friday. And he's like, wow, your body is like really aligned right now. And it's because I was doing so much work that week on my emotional life. I'm not kidding. I literally looked at him and I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, like I don't have to like correct your posture, or like he always pokes me in the stomach to have me brace my core better because I hold myself incorrectly because of my scoliosis, etc. And I was like, wow, it's crazy how when you deal with your emotional life and it really does manifest in your physical body. We know it, but when it happens, we're like, wow. So that was really
It's
cool.
so real. It's so real.
But to your point, the reverse, if I'm in a really stressful situation or stuff is going sideways, that will manifest negatively. That's probably how I herniated myself. I was sitting on a couch playing board games Christmas last year, and there must have just been something that wasn't, well, I know it wasn't right, but there was something not right in my life at that point, and my physical body took the toll because my emotional life was not paying attention to the signals, and I really did take it out in the physical.
Yeah, we especially see that with chronic pain, I will say. And you are definitely someone who's dealt with that throughout really your entire life. And I will also say that I think that you are someone who understands how important daily awareness is to make sure that you keep feeling good. Because I've known times where you have been away or have been kind of
just inconsistent,
and it showed. It showed. You felt it. You know that you need to do Pilates X amount of times a week, and you need to do this stretch, and you need to be walking, and you need to not be sitting for more than X amount of hours, and you need to go to your chiro once every 3 weeks, whatever it is. You know your kind of flow with it, and it's not super hard to sustain. It's kind of your lifestyle. But if you know that if you come off it, you're going to feel it.
And it's baby steps. This sounds like a lot that I'm doing. Oh, I'm doing chiropractic and I'm doing my personal trainer and Pilates. You guys, I've built this up over years. I wasn't like, okay, well, one day, bam, and I waved a magic wand. No. It was figuring out what works for me, what foods made me feel good, what diet I had to follow, whatever it was. It's slow and steady. And I'm going to keep saying that because please do not just like make a list of everything that you want to change in your life and be like, January 1st, boom. No. Hold your horses, people. Because spiritually, the last little part of this, once you figure out your mental, emotional worlds and you are really diligent and consistent with yourself, things in your life start to fall into place. I mean, when we're really on our path, doing the things that are good for us, on our purpose, if you will, healing all the areas of our life, everything that we've talked about on Inside Out, you notice that things kind of just miraculously slot into place, like missing puzzle pieces. We've all experienced once we're doing something and we're doing it effectively and we're doing it well, everything just like works out. And it's unexplainable to a degree, but it really is because we are addressing this and not just letting it be like, I don't know, I'll get to it someday. No, that's not how effective long-term success and change is built. That's not the foundation it's built on.
I'll just add that I think that it's also about the energy that we kind of put out there. If we feel that wholeness and all the things come together, we bring that energy out into the world. And I think that that has a value.
Energy is everything. Consciousness is everything. It's one of my favorite quotes. If you know, you know. And yeah, I hope that this discussion and conversation has sort of reframed what that really means to be well and what that through line looks like throughout your life, and not just first thing in the new year and in 2025, but really sustained in your entire existence. So thank you for going inside out with us. And please hit Liron with a follow on Instagram at Liron Nosrat. And you can find that in the show notes all spelled out. So go find her there. And then also we're running a little promotion for you guys. So the first 10 people to sign up at www.movewellbyliron.com/inside-out will receive personal one-on-one Zoom session with Liron to go over what your concerns are, what you want to talk about, and really what a personalized journey for you is. And also that will include 10% off for her platform. If you want to do any at-home Pilates or take this on the go or whatever it is. She is based in Israel. She does come to New York. So just keep that in mind. And Liron, thank you so much for joining me today.
This is really fun talking to you, Jojo. Hope you guys enjoyed as well. I would love connecting with you guys and helping you find your own path to true wellness. And yeah, I'm happy we got to collaborate and excited for our next episode, whenever that is.
Well, you guys, you know where to find me at _insideout.podcast. Make sure you're following along, subscribe, rate, review, all of the things. Again, go support Liron. She's my favorite. And can't wait for the next episode and further discussions. All right. Have a great week, guys. Happy New Year. Bye.